Hi, it's Emily Leiphart of Art from the Heart, and in this video I'm creating a Paper Smooches card using the Healthy Vibes stamp set and Healthy Vibes Icons dies. Healthy Vibes, a wonderful get-well stamp set, has been around for a while, but the coordinating Healthy Vibes Icons dies were just released, and these dies will make creating get-well cards a breeze. There are 5 dies included in this set. They coordinate with the 2 germs, the cup, spoon, and band-aid. You can keep the dies all joined together or simply use wire snips to separate them. I've gone ahead and die cut the spoon and bowl. I'm also going to use the hamster from Party Posse and Posse Icons and turn him into Nurse Hamsy using the hat from Healthy Vibes. Now I can go ahead and stamp all the coordinating images onto their respective die cuts. Once the images are all stamped, I can go ahead and color them with Copic markers. You'll see me using the colorless blender to erase any color that goes outside the lines. I don't often use this marker to blend, but I do use it often to make corrections or to clean up my coloring. My C1 marker gets a lot of use, and it's rather dry, so I take the refill and squeeze it onto the broad nib. You can see it being absorbed down into the barrel. Usually 1 milliliter is enough, so that's all you have to watch along the refill to know when to stop. As it turns out, my C1 marker was exceptionally dry, so I add a bit more ink using the refill. If you add too much at one time, the ink will run out of both ends of the marker, so it's always better to be reserved and add more later if you need it. Now I'm filling the spoon and mug with yummy cream of mushroom or lentil soup. I also add shimmer to the spoon with Wink of Stella. Next, I color in the nurse's hat and try it on Hamsy. I use an X-Acto knife to cut a slit so that I can slide the hat into the die cut. I think the hat is too bland, so I stamp and color it again, this time in pink. Here I do use the colorless blender since I don't have the best combination of pinks. I like that a lot better, and now I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to create slits under Hamsy's paws so he can hold the spoon. When that's done, I use score tape to hold the hat to the hamster. I play around with the cup to decide how it will be placed with the hamster. I decide that I want to decorate the cup, and I'm going to use the germ as a flower. First I need to create a mask to protect the white edge around the cup. After that, I stamp the germ and remove the mask. Then I can color it to coordinate with Nurse Hamsy. I choose some pattern papers from Pebbles Yours Truly 6x6 paper pad. I'm going to die cut 2 sizes of the scallop frames using those papers, and I'll be arranging the frames around the images like so. I'm using a neutral text background to cover the base of the card. Then I use my zig glue pen and score tape to keep the spoon in the hamster's paws. Since I need to put a sentiment inside the large frame, I realize that the text is too dark, so I mute it by adding some vellum. I measure the frame to cut a piece just big enough to fit inside the frame, then adhere it. Next I snip open the smaller scallop frames and chain link them inside the larger pink frame. I decide I want to use the Feel Better Soon sentiment, but I will have to split it to make it fit into those 2 open spaces. The images look odd floating in midair, so I need to stamp a couple of anchors using the Shadows stamp set. This stamp set is a must for those of you who don't have it yet. I use it a lot to anchor objects, critters, and people. There are also solid speech bubbles, which is very handy. I decided to stamp the shadows behind the vellum in black, since the vellum will automatically mute it, and I don't have to worry about pulling out another color of ink, since I already used this ink to stamp the images. My sentiments will go directly onto the vellum, so I need to use Stays-On ink. First, I mask off Soon, and stamp Feel Better in the top left-hand corner. Then I mask off Feel Better to stamp Soon in the bottom right-hand corner. However, just as I'm about to stamp it, I decide to customize it for my mother-in-law after her brief stay in the hospital. I pull out the Kinfolk stamp set for that, and stamp Mom in that corner. Before adhering all the pieces to the card base, I want to sponge around the base to make the card feel warmer. For this I use walnut stain distress ink and a blending tool. To keep the frames together, I use micro glue dots to hold them together on the front side. Then I flip it over and use a bit of score tape to keep them together. I apply glossy accents along the edges of the frames and adhere all three pieces to the card base. When that's done, I trim off the excess pieces. After, I make sure the frames are secure and apply foam tape to the cup and hamster. I couldn't decide if the cup or spoon should be in front, but I decide on the spoon since it shimmers with Wink of Stella. Once they're in place, my card is done. Please refer to the supply links below if you're interested in any of the products I used in this video. You can also visit my blog for stills and more information about my cards. Thanks so much for watching.